December 8, Philippine time, without any knowledge, without any forewarning. Next thing they knew was that planes were flying over Baguio and bombs were dropped, and that the Japanese target was Camp John Hay.
The Japanese started bombing.
I went to the church at that time because it is my birthday. And then I was in the church, inside the church. They said all the people are out of the church. Now, the people told me that John He was bombed and we are all frightened.
I'm Bing Bowman Perlas, originally from Bacolod, Negros. Grew up here like maybe 5 or 6 years when my father was assigned at the military academy, and moved back to Fort Bonifacio and met this guy then.
Yeah, hi, I'm Tony Perlas. I'm the son of Colonel Jose Perlas, graduate of, like her dad, of class 44 PMA. And fortunately, the war broke out at the time, the year 41.
My husband, Alfredo Dolormente Manangan. He served during World War II as an errand boy, a helper with the guerrillas unit assigned in Baguio City.
The first bomb of the Janhe, it was 1941, December. I can remember because when they bombed the Janhe, we scattered all the people in our place. We go to the mountain and hide there. We leave our house.
I remember from the very first memory I ever had, my father had a picture of a little girl next to his bed, and it was still there from 1946 to 1988, 2 days before he died. He couldn't speak very loud, and he waved me over with his little finger, and I went up next to him and he asked me, he said, "Son, find your sister."
Having been, well, as I said earlier, prisoner of war, a child prisoner of war, interned in Santo Tomas under the Japanese occupation with my parents. And I heard about this group of FAME, which is under the chamber. It was started out as a public relations committee, and then it was made into a formal World War II, Filipino-American Memorial Endowment to maintain memorials and monuments for World War II, which were being, after 40 plus years, at that time they weren't being looked after. So I tried to access the upper cemetery, or Cemetery 1, as you mentioned, with Jim Ward, who lives in Baguio. We realized we couldn't access from the road. We had to go down a bit, so we found our way through a meadow and fences, and literally, I tell you, literally crawling under a barbed wire fence to get up the hill to where this was. And by that time we had, I think there were only about 10 crosses or something like that, 8 to 10 crosses. And then when they take the horses up the hill into John Hay to where the horse rental area is, they go past that cemetery, and it was a game with them to ride fast and swoop the crosses, see how many, or if you could grab a cross or whatever, and that's what happened. And the last time I was there, when I drove by, there was only one cross left. The lower cemetery, that had headstones which were flat. So I know basically most of them were just flat headstones, just a block, like a brick, a little bit larger than a brick. But I just felt that, I still feel that something should be done. These are people who were in the war effort, and that they're just left behind.